The National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa and the South African Cabin Crew Association are staging protests today at the SAA offices in Kempton Park over government's failure to fund the airline. The unions are demanding that government pay for the restructuring of the airline. Let's bring in NUMSA spokesperson Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, who is at the protest. Phakamile, a very good morning to you and thanks for joining us. The protest is at the heart of people's livelihoods and, of course, saving the national carrier. Exactly why are you part of this protest and what are your demands that you're putting on the table?
Well, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. At the heart of this protest, the demand is that government must demonstrate concretely that they support the turnaround strategy of this airline, and they must do so by providing funding for the business rescue plan. There have been numerous delays in terms of when this funding would be received. This was the latest deadline. Yesterday's deadline was the latest deadline, which was missed by government. And we keep being told that the money is coming, the money is coming. I think people need to understand our members can't live on words alone. Our members have gone without salaries for 4 months or more. And as long as this process is continuing, they're in limbo. Some of them have lost houses. Some of them have been kicked out of their rental homes. Some of them, their kids have been kicked out of schools because they can't pay school fees. It's disgraceful that this government still cannot give us guarantees about what the future of SAA is and where the money will be coming from. They are the ones who took a decision in December to embark on voluntary business rescue, and anybody who knows that when you are doing or undergoing a business rescue process, you need to have money for it. And they made promises and gave assurances that the money would be available, but to date, it's still not been made available.
Now, the people behind you are the very people that you speak of when you speak about livelihoods. We know that that deadline was missed and talks are still underway. As you make your demands, as you stage this picket and make sure that your voices are heard, what are you trying to say as the placards are in display there in terms of the demands that you're now making?
Well, it's really simple. I mean, you know, they can't just keep feeding us promises that there's going to be funding made available. You need to actually put money on the table. That's how the process works. It doesn't work off promises and assurances. Money talks, you know, show us the money. That's where we are at this point. And our demand is very simple. If you are genuine about turning around SAA, as we've heard Pravin Gordhan say time and time again, show us the money. It's that simple. Our concern, however, is that we know that the ANC as an organization is factional and it is divided. There are some leaders within the ANC who support a turnaround of SAA, and there are others who have been working against this turnaround. One of those is the Minister in Treasury, Tito Mboweni, who way back in 2018 told an investors conference that if SAA collapsed, it wouldn't matter because it should be sold to one of his friends. That was his attitude. He was very dismissive about turning SAA around, and frankly, he continues to display that type of reckless attitude. A couple of days before the crucial business creditors meeting, when SAA was having its creditors meeting, Tito went and told the banks that if they were to vote against rescue and vote for liquidation, they shouldn't worry because their debt would be guaranteed. As NUMSA and SACCA, we interpreted that as him basically instructing the banks not to support business rescue and to push for liquidation, because that is how he feels about SAA. And he happens to be the minister. And he is actually right now the person who's supposed to provide funding for this airline, but to date has failed to do so. And we have good reason to suspect that he is one of those, probably together with other ministers within the governing party, who are pushing for the collapse of this airline, because they know that there are certain individuals who are connected to the political party, certain capitalist friends of theirs, who would benefit hugely from being able to purchase SAA very cheaply once it's been liquidated.
And what are the implications of your protests on operations at SAA as we speak, Phakamile?
Well, there's not that much happening in terms of operationally at SAA. It has been under business rescue. It's not been flying very much at all in the last couple of months, if you recall, especially because of the travel ban. And even after the travel ban was lifted, it's still not really been in any position to fly at all. So there isn't much happening in terms of operations. The only operations that were taking place in the last couple of months was the cargo flights, which have been continuing, as well as the flights to evacuate South Africans from different parts of the country. Those are the types of operations that have been taking place during this business rescue process. I think also one of the things that your viewers must know is that we are not just picketing as NUMSA and SACCA. We have officially notified the Office of the Presidency as well as the Office of the Speaker of Parliament, together with DP and Treasury, through our attorneys, that if by the end of today they do not demonstrate in a very concrete way that they intend to fund SAA, and also if they do not demonstrate in a very concrete way that they will stop the provisional liquidation of SA Express, as NUMSA and SACCA, we're prepared to approach the High Court utilizing an urgent application on the basis that our state-owned entities are governed by an act. There's a special act which governs our state-owned entities. They cannot just be liquidated. And we believe that we will be able to go to court and actually fight that battle through the courts in order to prevent the liquidation from taking place, both at SAA and SA Express.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Phakamile Hlubi-Majola, NUMSA spokesperson, they're speaking about the importance of this picket and warning, a stern warning on the consequences should their voices not be heard.